I'm Casey Claiborne, and thanks for watching this CrimeWatch YouTube exclusive, where we take a look back at recent crime stories that have been making headlines in our area. Austin police find a car in Lady Bird Lake. The car was pulled out of the lake with bullet holes. Police say they saw the car sinking into the water just before 2:30 in the morning on May 1st when they got to a boat ramp after getting calls about a shooting. Police brought out the dive team and a tow truck to remove the car from the water. Once they got it out after about 10 hours, they say no one was inside. When asked, police didn't say if the shooting was related to the car and didn't give out any other details. During a press conference, APD seemingly ignored a question asked about potential suspects.
Did you see anyone get out of the car?
I don't have that information.
What about the shooting? Any more details on the shooting you can give us?
No, ma'am.
No suspect?
Anything else?
Our crew saw shell casings around the crime scene. As soon as we learn more about what exactly happened there, we will bring you an update. After a 4-day manhunt, the search for Francisco Oropesa has ended. He was arrested in the town of Cut and Shoot Tuesday, just north of Houston. And this just in, the sheriff tells the Associated Press Oropesa's wife has also been arrested in connection to the shooting.
Bottom line is, we now have this man in custody. He was caught hiding in a closet underneath some laundry. They effectively made the arrest. He is uninjured, and he is currently being taken to my facility in Cold Springs.
Oropesa had been on the run since Friday night. Authorities became aware of his location after receiving a tip from the FBI tip line. Police say he shot his neighbors execution style with an AR-15 after they asked him to stop firing off rounds outside of his home as their baby was sleeping. Oropesa, a Mexican national, had been deported 4 times between 2009 and 2016. He's been charged with 5 counts of murder, and his bond is set at $5 million. To Giddings now, where a school bus driver is accused of driving while intoxicated on the job. Giddings Police Department got a report of a hit and run on North Orange Street, just off of Highway 290 in May 1st. They say a Giddings ISD school bus driven by 65-year-old Sherry Francis rear-ended another vehicle and then drove away. There were 14 students on board at the time of the crash. Police quickly found the bus and found probable cause. Francis was impaired by a substance other than alcohol, according to law enforcement. Francis has been charged with DWI with a child passenger. She consented to a blood draw, which has been submitted for testing. Bond was set at $7,500. But she has since been released on personal recognizance. We'll have more updates in our evening newscast. State troopers are looking for a hit-and-run driver who killed a motorcyclist and dragged his motorcycle for several miles. These are pictures of what's believed to be the suspect's Cadillac Escalade. The sparks are from the motorcycle. The crash happened late in the evening on April 29th on Highway 183 and FM 973 in southeast Austin. The 44-year-old motorcycle rider died at the scene. The hit-and-run driver left the motorcycle near the Highway 45 toll ramp. A mother whose son was killed by a street racer in Cedar Park is supporting other families. She's helping them navigate the legal system after having to do that herself. Fox 7 Austin's Meredith Hollis has that story.
I don't really even call it the justice system. I just call it the legal system because it really is not just. In most cases, it's just your child is just another number.
Tansy Silva says that's how she felt while she was just trying to get justice for her son and his stepbrother. On January 10th, 2018, 2 men, Hayden Hammer and Blake Kirkpatrick, were racing their vehicles down 1431 in Cedar Park.
My son had been picked up by his stepmother from school, and we believe she was headed towards Walmart, and she was turning left on a yellow blinking light on Walton Way in 1431.
They were T-boned.
He was driving a Ram 2500 with a cattle guard.
8-year-old Elijah Chaudhry and 1-year-old Daniel Chaudhry were killed.
It takes a long time for your brain to catch up to that fact that he's not there anymore and that you're not going to see him again.
She says she turned to the Christie Center, a nonprofit in Austin that provides grief support.
From the first meeting that we went to, I saw people that had gone through similar circumstances and made it through on the other side. And I thought, well, if they can do it, I think I can do it too.
While dealing with the loss, Silva was also dealing with the legal system.
Accused have lots of rights. They have that whole court process and an appeal process, and even in jail, they have rights. From the victim standpoint, from the families, it's difficult, very difficult. Definitely feels like the system is against you from the get-go.
Almost 2 years after the crash, they went to trial.
The young man who hit them had a lot of prior pending cases in different counties throughout Texas. He was actually out on bond when this happened.
Hammer was handed down a sentence of 7 years in prison and 10 years probation. Kirkpatrick was given 10 years probation.
Case of like racing, nobody wins. Even if you win, you don't win.
The man who killed Silva's son will spend less time in jail than the number of years her son was alive. She advocated at a recent parole hearing for him to stay there.
It felt like we were begging them to, just uphold his sentence, which was very minimal for the seriousness. And they really listened.
Hammer was denied parole. Silva says they'll go back in 2 years. In the meantime, she's advocating for other victims.
Educate families about their rights and how to approach the district attorney, how to understand that whole court process, because on top of grieving and going through all these other crazy things, you're dealing with the layers of the legal system.
Silva also works with juveniles and their parents.
I volunteer because if I could possibly reach out and prevent a juvenile from, throwing the rest of their life away by going to jail or whatever it is, prevent it. Maybe give them a little bit of a wake-up call to see what really happens.
Because if Hammer had made a different decision on that day, Elijah and Daniel might still be here today. Meredith Aldis, Fox 7 Austin News.
And finally to Dallas, where a police canine got special recognition from the police chief who said the dog's heroic actions helped save an officer's life. Fox's Lori Brown has that story.
God wasn't ready for two warriors that night, and these warriors did their duty in the face of evil.
This is video from the body camera of Senior Corporal Scott J. and his police canine Figor. Police were looking for a man who shot two family members after they confronted him about loud music. That happened at 9:45 p.m. Thursday night in Pleasant Grove. Just before 2 a.m. Friday, police found a bloody shoe print and a trail of blood. This video shows Figor followed the scent into a wooded area by a creek. Then you hear gunfire. The dog cries out, but continues to work to take the suspect into custody. Figor was hit in the chest. Police say Brian Casillas also fired at Senior Corporal Scott J. and shot him in the center of his ballistic vest and his leg. Police say J shot back and killed Casillas. The emotional moments showing the bond between an officer and his dog.
I'm here. I'm calling out. My partner's here. Figor. Come on, buddy. I'm a partner's here. Hey, buddy. Come here. Let me get my dog! Hey, come here, sit down, sit down.
Fellow Dallas police officers quickly went to work to apply a tourniquet to Senior Corporal J.
No, scissors. No, you're good.
Jay was treated and released at a hospital, and Figor was treated and released at Dallas Animal Emergency.
This is Senior Corporal Jay with his partner Figor.
Fox 4 was there 1 year ago when Senior Corporal Jay and Figor were first paired up. Dallas Police Chief Eddie Garcia says the actions of both deserve to be commended.
Not only Senior Corporal Jay for bravely doing his job, searching for a dangerous, violent suspect, but a canine officer who took a bullet for his partner and likely saved his life by working while shot to detain the suspect.
20-year-old Casillas had a lengthy criminal record, including DWI, family violence, and discharging a firearm. This is the third officer-involved shooting for Dallas police in 4 months.
And they all have one thing in common. All three have involved violent suspects who have shot at my officers, our partners. All three. This is despicable and deplorable. This department will not stop. These men and women will continue to sacrifice with what is most dear for this city.
We're here.
The Dallas County DA's office is conducting an independent investigation of the shooting. The two victims the suspect shot that night are still hospitalized. One of them is in critical condition. Thank you for watching the Fox 7 Austin Crime Watch YouTube exclusive. Our Crime Watch stories run each Monday on Fox 7 Austin News at 9. For more on the stories highlighted in this episode, you can head to our website, fox7austin.com, and don't forget to subscribe to the Fox 7 Austin YouTube channel.